Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Week in Nintendo. Every Saturday I like to go back through the past week's biggest headlines so you can get all caught up on all things Nintendo. If you're new here and you like these weekly news rundowns, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on everything happening with the channel. With all that out of the way, let's go through this week's Nintendo news. Tuesday, we had the surprise announcement of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, a follow-up to the original Hyrule Warriors, and one that will serve as a prequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, with the story taking place 100 years before the events of that game. Now, I know not everyone is a fan of the Warriors Musou games, but I do like to see that Koei Tecmo is taking more care with the story elements of the franchises they work with, something we're seeing with Persona 5 Scramble as well. With Age of Calamity, Koei Tecmo worked closely with Nintendo on the development of the game, even adopting the same art style as Breath of the Wild, which is a huge plus for me. So while this certainly isn't as big a deal as something like Breath of the Wild 2 coming this holiday, this does feel like the next best thing, and it really was an unexpected surprise. So all things considered with how this year has been going, I'm very happy to see we'll be getting a proper holiday release on the Switch this year. Let me know down below if you plan on picking up Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity when it comes to the Switch on November 20th. Tuesday, we also saw the unveiling of a small collection of physical rewards for MyNintendo members, the first physical items we've seen from the service since it replaced the beloved Club Nintendo program back in 2015. In addition to the usual selection of digital rewards, players can now redeem their platinum points for a collection of Splatoon 2 postcards, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition sticker sheets, as well as a Monado phone ring, although that one appears to have already sold out. Now, while these items don't quite match the quality of some of the old Club Nintendo rewards, it is nice to see MyNintendo finally moving in this direction, although you will have to pay shipping for your items, something that was free with Club Nintendo. So if multiple items look good to you, I suggest ordering them all at once so you don't have to pay separate shipping. That's what I did, and hopefully we see more physical items added in the future so players have a better reason to spend those hard-earned platinum points. Wednesday, Bloomberg reported that Nintendo is hoping to boost Switch production by 20% with the goal of 30 million additional Switch units by the end of the fiscal year. Apparently, Nintendo's supply chain issues have been resolved, but demand for the Switch remains incredibly high. According to anonymous sources, Nintendo is also preparing an upgraded Switch model with a beefed up games lineup for 2021, with several developers saying Nintendo has asked them to make their games 4K ready, all but confirming the rumors of a Switch Pro model coming early next year. As far as 4K goes, that sounds like a substantial upgrade from the current Switch, so maybe 4K could be something Nintendo is eyeing for the next proper successor to the Switch rather than this upgraded model, and I think that could be a possibility when you consider the length of development cycles, so I'm sure we'll hear plenty more about this as we move into next year, but this all sounds great to me. Since the launch of the Switch, I've been hoping Nintendo sticks with the same overall form factor and function and just improves power and performance to continue getting third-party support as we move into next gen. Again, on Wednesday, we learned that No More Heroes 3, the latest installment in the action-adventure series starring Travis Touchdown, would be delayed until sometime in 2021 after the game's initially targeted 2020 release date. The official Grasshopper Twitter account cited development difficulties due to adjusting to all the problems presented by this year, and the team wanting to prioritize quality over meeting a deadline. Luckily, fans seem incredibly understanding, with Suda51 responding to the outpouring of support following the announcement. Thursday, we had Silicon Era reporting on sales figures from the most recent issue of Famitsu, showing that the Nintendo Switch has now sold over 15 million units in Japan alone. An impressive number, especially when you consider that the Wii U failed to move that many units worldwide, and with the Switch continuing to sell out as soon as it's back in stock, I don't see this train slowing down anytime soon. Thursday, we also found out that Scott Pilgrim vs. the World Complete Edition would be coming to all consoles, including the Nintendo Switch, this holiday season. In honor of the 10-year anniversary of the beloved 2D arcade-style beat-em-up, the Complete Edition will include all previously released DLC and will cost $14.99. Fans have been clamoring for this title since it was delisted back in 2014, reportedly due to an expired license, so the news of the re-release was a bit of an early Christmas present for those hoping to see the game return. Again on Thursday, we saw some teasing from a Super Monkey Ball voice actor that Sega is planning to announce a new Super Monkey Ball title at the end of September. Posting a picture to Instagram of him playing Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD, the voice actor said September will be amazing for what's to come, and tagged Sega and Nintendo Life in the post. So this will be a fun one to keep an eye on as we move toward the supposed announcement at the Tokyo Game Show later this month. And that does it for this week's Nintendo news, but before we go, it's time for 20 years ago today, where we take a look back at what was happening with Nintendo 20 years ago this week. And this week we're taking a look at the third installment in the classic Stunt Racer series, San Francisco Rush 2049. Released on the Nintendo 64 in the States on September 7th, 2000, Rush 2049 managed to close out the trilogy of releases on the Nintendo 64 on a very high note, reviewing even more favorably than the two previous entries. Refining elements of the first two games while adding new features and better graphics with a futuristic twist, Rush 2049 offered fans of the series everything they wanted. IGN's Matt Casamassina reviewed the game with a 9 and called it Midway's best stunt racer yet, saying, "Easily, without a doubt, the best San Francisco Rush game ever made. Midway Games West has really outdone itself with this sequel in the Rush franchise. 2049 features great new standard racing tracks spilling with amazing shortcuts at every turn, and a new coin system that unlocks secrets. It features an unrivaled 4-player battle mode that eclipses the mechanics laid down by titles like Vigilante 8, and an addictive 4-player ready stunt mode with a finely polished point system. And wings. And it comes complete with totally revamped and updated graphics, and a musical soundtrack that, believe it or not, is actually pretty good." I was actually a huge fan of the Rush series back in the day. They were just games that were never ashamed to be what they were. Video game comfort food done right. Go really fast, launch your car off ridiculous jumps, attempt to land in one piece, or go up in a burning blaze of glory. Rinse and repeat. I would actually love to see an updated version of any of these games come to the Nintendo Switch. And if you stuck around through all that and like what you saw, please consider liking and subscribing. And until next week, have a great weekend, play some video games, let me know what you're playing, and I'll see you next time.